Last time on Madden NFL 21 Toronto Huskies franchise, the Toronto Huskies won their first regular season game in Maple Leaf Field in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, by the final score 43-3 over the LA Chargers. Offensive yards gained for Los Angeles was 158. Toronto had 314. Offensive rushing yards 77. They had 13. Offensive pass yards, Toronto had 237. Los Angeles had 145. First downs, Los Angeles had 10. Toronto had 6. Neither team punted, actually. Two turnovers for the LA Chargers. Trevor Williams of the Huskies recovered both turnovers, one of them being a touchdown. 2-point conversions, one there by the Toronto Huskies. And there were no penalties in this game. Joe Flacco had a perfect pass rating of 158.3, 67 yards and one touchdown. Andy Dalton, 127 pass rating, 150 yards and two touchdowns on the day. Drew Brees, 118 passing yards, 34 yards there, and no touchdowns whatsoever. Justin Herbert, 68.7 and 152 yards. Chris Thompson, 4 carries, 67 yards and no touchdowns. Austin Eckler, 8 carries, 10 yards, no touchdowns. Drew Brees, 1 carry, 4 yards, and a touchdown receiving wise. Rob Gronkowski had 4 receptions, 135 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the day. Demarcus Robinson had 4 receptions and no touchdowns. AJ Green ended up injured. 1 reception, 36 yards for him. Hunter Henry, 4 receptions, 29 yards. And let's see the defense. 2 sacks on Melvin Ingram. 1 sack for Cameron Jordan. There was a fumble recovery, and Trevor Williams did score the touchdown on that fumble recovery, which was Toronto's first touchdown. Alright, now this is week 2 of Toronto Huskies franchise. Still on season 1, as we will be battling off against the Atlanta Falcons in the birthplace of Coca-Cola and the Peach State, as well as the host of the 1996 Summer Olympics. So here we are going to Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, the 679. Like I said, was the host of the 1996 Summer Olympics. And it was the 100th year of having the Summer Olympic program, really. And Drew Brees gets to face off his rival from the NFC South. When Drew Brees played for the Saints, Matt Ryan played with the Falcons, and he's still with Atlanta on Madden 21, Toronto Huskies relocation. As you may have noticed, the New York Jets no longer exist. They're the Toronto Huskies. Alright, now we're ready to return to kickoff. We got Nelson Agholor of the Toronto Huskies, our wide receivers, ready to return to kickoff for Toronto. The Atlanta Falcons are wearing those new alternate uniforms. They're wearing the red jerseys with white pants. The Huskies are wearing their white jerseys with gray pants. So now this is going to be a 1st and 10 from the 27, and this is a first game without AJ Green due to that foot injury. So this is going to be a 2nd and 10 now from the 27 here in Atlanta. So now Andy Dalton, he's going to throw the ball to Nelson Agholor, who returned that kickoff. 1 for 2 there, 27 yards. So we need 1,000 passing yards in this football game to make Adam Gase feel proud. So now, this is the season, by the way, just in case if you're wondering. And now Rob Gronkowski breaks a couple of tackles, gets stopped at the 24 for 49 yards total for Andy Dalton. So this is going to be a 1st and 10 for the Toronto Huskies. Now we got Dalton. He's going to be ready to he's going to throw it to Aguilar, incomplete, 2 for 4 there that time, as it will lead into 2nd down and 10 for the Toronto Huskies. Now I'm going to throw the ball. I'm going to throw the ball to Rob Gronkowski. Does he get it into the end zone? Not quite, but pretty close to it, I'd say, as we are about 1 yard shy from getting it in the end zone. And I'm going to think about passing it to Rob Gronkowski. Touchdown, Huskies, as this will now be a 7-0 lead for Toronto, as Gronkowski scores the first touchdown of the football game. All right, now this is going to be a 1st and 10, and we see Matt Ryan stepping onto the field for the first time today for Atlanta. Throws the ball, incomplete pass there, as it will be 2nd and 10 for the Atlanta Falcons. So now they're at the 30-yard line, trying to get a first down there on 2nd and 10, and he's going to try to throw the football there. Almost intercepted, but this turns out to be incomplete there. So we're going to use a cover 3 nickel formation here for the defense. And now this is 3rd and 10. And he gets a reception there. 1 for 3, 21 yards. 50 total yards for this Falcons offense as of now. And this is going to be a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. He's going to throw the ball to Todd Gurley, and Trevor Greensburg, the rookie from Penn State, is back on the field from that injury he sustained during the preseason. And now this is 2nd and 5. He's going to throw the ball, and it will be completed there. So we're going to blitz on 1st and goal. We're going to blitz on 1st and goal. And that will be an incomplete pass. So this is going to be a 2nd and goal for the Atlanta Falcons here in the state of Georgia. They're going to hand the ball off to Todd Gurley, the former Los Angeles Rams running back. Loses 3 yards. 3rd and goal now for Atlanta, as we're still on defense. 3rd and goal now from the 6-yard line. And he loses the ball. Atlanta recovers, and this will lead into 4th down. Cameron Jordan with a sack there. And this will lead into a Falcons field goal in the 2nd quarter. Oh, the 1st quarter's over. And the Toronto Huskies are now leading us 7-0. So now they're going to try a field goal here, and it will now be 7. Now it will be 7-3 if they do make it. And yes, they do make the field goal there, and it's now going to be 7-3. But we're still leading by 4. We need to get at least more touchdowns if we want to end up winning this game. So now we got Nelson Aguilar ready to return the kickoff for Toronto. Breaks tackles, gets stopped to the 26. So now this is going to be a 1st and 10 for the Huskies, as we're going to run it with Le'Veon Bell, the former Pittsburgh Steelers running back. Hands the ball off to Le'Veon Bell. Breaks the tackle. And he will get 6 yards on that carry. So this is going to be a 2nd and 4 for the Huskies. And now I'm going to hand the ball off to Chris Thompson, the former Washington Redskins running back. Gets stopped there at the middle of the field at the 50 for a gain of 19. So this is going to be a 1st and 10 for Toronto, as Andy Dalton here is ready to throw the passes deep across the field. He's going to catch it to Corey Davis, and they will be stopped at the 1. So we're going to use the inside zone for Le'Veon Bell, and Le'Veon Bell will possibly score his first touchdown, and he does, and it's now going to be 14-3. All right, now this is going to be a 1st and 10 for the Atlanta Falcons as they're ready to play some offense here. They're going to hand the ball off to Todd Gurley, and he only gains about 3 yards there, so he does not have any positive nor negative yardage in his total game as of right now, but that could change. And now he's going to throw it deep across the field, originally intended for Russell Gage Jr., and they have to make one final snap before the 2-minute warning occurs. Here comes the 2-minute warning here, and he's going to get sacked. The ball is out, and they lose a ton of yardage now. On 4th, it will now be 4th and 25 for the Atlanta Falcons. So they have to punt. Nelson Aguilar will be ready to return the punt for Toronto. So Toronto is off to a good start. They're 1-0 this year, bumping it up to 2-0 on the season. And their goal is to get at least a 16-0 record, just like the 07 Patriots did. So now this is going to be a 1st and 10 from the 38. I'm going to pass it to Joe Flacco. Intended for him, but this is incomplete. So this is going to be a 2nd and 10 for the Toronto Huskies. And now we're going to pass the ball to Corey Davis. All right, now this is going to be 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line for the Toronto Huskies. We subbed in Joe Flacco, and I'm going to pass it to Mohamed Sanu. By the way, it's his homecoming back to Atlanta. He spent some time with the Falcons from, I think, 2016 to around 2018 or 2019. I don't remember. And now this will be a 1st and goal from the 3 as Flacco throws the ball, passes it for Corey Davis, and that will be a touchdown here in... This will be a passing touchdown here in Atlanta as the Huskies lead at 21-3. All right, now this will be 1st and 10 from the 32 here in Atlanta, as now the Falcons are ready to throw the football. They're going to throw it, and that will be an incomplete pass. So this is going to be 2nd and 10 for the Atlanta Falcons. They're at the 32 now. They're going to throw the ball. Could have been an interception, though, because one of our secondaries had their hands out, and then they could have caught it and returned it for an interception. That would have been awesome. A great way to end this first half, by the way. Oh, and nobody's going to even stop them. Nobody is going to stop them. The Atlanta Falcons will take their first touchdown of the game. And it was Christian Blake that made that awesome reception and ran it into the end zone. And now we will now lead this 21. No, wait, it would be... How did they get 9 points? Oh, yeah, because it's a field goal. So it will now be 21-10. All right, it is kickoff time here in Atlanta. And Nelson Aguilar will be ready to return for the Toronto Huskies. And they're going to get stopped at the 26. So there's only 13 seconds left. So I'm going to run it with Chris Thompson. And I'm going to hand the ball off to him. And he is not going to get a first down. So we're going to do the no huddle. And this will conclude the first half. The Toronto Huskies are leading this football game 21-10 here in Atlanta, Georgia, the state capital of Georgia, and the host of the 1996 Summer Olympic Games. It was the Centennial Olympics. They were going to do it in Athens, Greece, but oh well, they're going to do it in Atlanta. And that's pretty cool how they have the map. All right, now this is the beginning of the second half here in Atlanta as the Huskies kick it off and the Falcons will return. And they're going to get stopped there at the 30. Bobby Iverson, one of the wide receivers for this Huskies team, stops them there. And now this is going to be a 1st and 10 that they are going to take seriously. So this will be 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Hands the ball off to Todd Gurley. And Demario Davis on our Toronto Huskies defense is down and hurt. So this is a 1st and 10 now for the Falcons. So this is 1st and 10. They're going to hand the ball off to Todd Gurley. He's going to get stopped there by J.J. Watt, the former Houston Texans player, and he has a dislocated thumb. So we're going to put him back in. And our only player that's on the injury report as of currently is A.J. Green, and he sustained that in the last episode. I'll have that in the link in the description below of the previous video. And it was Toronto's first regular season game. So now he's going to throw the ball, and that will be an incomplete pass. 4th and 11 now for Atlanta. All right, 4th and 11. It is now 21-10 here, and I subbed in Mohamed Sanu Sr. ready to return the punt for Toronto. And he's going to run it, break tackles along the way, and will get stopped at the 25. So this is going to be a 1st and 10 for the Toronto Huskies. Now our primary will be Chris Thompson, the 8-year player in this league, mainly with the Washington Redskins and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So now this is going to be a 2nd and 4. So our receiver will be Corey Davis or Mohamed Sanu. And I'm going to throw the ball with Drew Brees, the Super Bowl 44 MVP with New Orleans. And this turns out to be 0-1. By the way, his Saints were at least 11-0. Well, they were 13-0 in the regular season and lost their last 3 regular season games. And then ended up winning the Super Bowl. I could see that with this regular season's Pittsburgh Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger. They started off the season 11-0, and they're 11-2 now. Possibly they might end up 14-2 on the regular season, but let's get back in the game. So it's 2nd down and 10 now for the Toronto Huskies. And now I'm going to throw the ball, and I get sacked, but there is a flag on the penalty field. Apparently, it will be considered a face mask call. 2nd and 10 by Grady Jarrett, and I am going to accept because we're going to get more yardage along the way. So now this will be a 1st and 10. And I'm just going to run it in with Drew Brees. I'm just going to get a 1st down no matter what. And our goal update, 129, 500 offensive yards for week 2. That's what we really need for our milestone. It might be regular season wise, but who knows. And Chris Thompson loses a couple yards. 2nd and 12 now. He lost at least 2 yards. So this is going to be a 2nd and 12 now for the Huskies. Brees passes it to Gronkowski, and he will be stopped at the 19 there. So this is going to be a 1st and 10 for the Toronto Huskies as they move the chains here. They're trying to get 1st downs, and they want to win this football game. So now they're going to pass it to Mohamed Sanu. Touchdown Huskies, and somebody is injured on our team. So we'll see you guys in the 4th quarter. Okay, now this is going to be 1st and 10, game day goal, 4 sacks. We did that. So now this is going to be a 2nd and 6 now for the Huskies here. And we're going to run it with the 0-1 trap with Chris Thompson. So now this is going to be 2nd and 6. I'm going to run the ball with Thompson. And does he get it into the end zone? Apparently, yes. First rushing touchdown of the game. And we're going to try a 2-point conversion because we want to score the most points in this season as possible. So now we're going to try a 2-point conversion here. And do we make it in? The answer is going to be a yes. Le'Veon Bell ran it in. And this will now be a 36-10 lead here in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, now this is going to be 1st and 10 from the 47 here at Georgia. And now that will be an incomplete pass. 5 out of 14 there. And Toronto is leading this by 26. So now this will be a 2nd and 10 here for the Falcons. So now he's going to throw it deep. Nobody is there to catch the football. Incomplete. 3rd down and 10 now from the 47 here in Atlanta, Georgia at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Superdome is in Louisiana. Mercedes-Benz Stadium is in Georgia. So now Hayden Hurst gets a reception there. His first reception of the football game. And this will be a 1st and 10 now for the Atlanta Falcons. So now we're ready to play some defense here. And we're going to try to move the chains. And now Matt Ryan gets sacked. The ball is out. And the Toronto Huskies have it. J.J. Watt has 3.5 tackles on this game. And he has at least 1 or 2 sacks. So Atlanta got its 2nd turnover in this game. And now Chris Thompson here is ready to run the ball. 2-minute warning coming up. All right, now this is 2nd and 4 now from the 33. And Chris Thompson uses a juke move, but he gets a 1st down. 8 rushes, 73 yards, and a touchdown here in Atlanta. So they're ready to take the win on the road as they fly back home to Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the hometown of the rapper Drake. And Tyler Davidson, their defensive lineman, are injured for Atlanta. So now we're going to use a 1st and 10 from the 15 here in Atlanta. So now Chris Thompson gets a rush, and he's going to get stopped at the 6-yard line there. So the final score, it was just the Chargers and the Chiefs, by the way. 2nd and 1. And now Le'Veon Bell, he's trying to get it into the end zone. And this will be 120 passing possession time. And the game is over here in Atlanta, Georgia, where the Toronto Huskies have won this game 36-10. What a great game for this Huskies team right here. They won this game, and Mohamed Sanu was glad to be back in Atlanta and scored at least 1 touchdown in this game. Maybe not, but he did have at least a couple punt returns, and I'll explain more about that in statistics. All right, now Matt Ryan has a 99.2 passer rating, 6 out of 16 there, 173 yards and 1 touchdown. All the quarterbacks that you guys saw in this episode had scored at least 1 touchdown. Andy Dalton, 146.7, 6 out of 9, 143 yards and 1 touchdown on the day. Drew Brees, 133.3 passer rating, 3 out of 5 there, 50 yards and 1 touchdown. Joe Flacco takes home the perfect pass rating of 158.3 and 1 touchdown. Chris Thompson, 9 carries, 82 yards and 1 touchdown. Le'Veon Bell, 6 carries, 40 yards there. Receiving wise, Rob Gronkowski had 4 receptions, 62 yards and 1 touchdown. Mohamed Sanu had 3 receptions, 70 yards and a touchdown. Corey Davis, 3 receptions, 73 yards and a touchdown. Russell Gage, 2 receptions, 63 yards in all. Julio Jones, 1 reception, 15 yards. Christian Blake had 1 reception and 68 yards. And let's see our defense here. Let's see how many sacks this defense took. Preston Smith had 2 sacks in this game. Cameron Jordan had 1.5. Grady Jarrett had 1.5, 1 sack. which, by the way, is Atlanta's only sack of the game. Had Atlanta's only sack of the game, J.J. Watt had 1 sack, and Jamal Adams had .5 sacks. No INTs in this game. Fumble recoveries by Roman Stecker, J.J. Watt, and Jamal Adams, but there was no safeties or defensive touchdowns. But let's just check. There were no kickoff or punt returns. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and happy 7 days until Christmas.